This is a conclusion for people who want to stop here on the action topic. There is actually just a tiny bit more and a further conclusion, but I'm thinking of this as the main stopping point for most people. Most people, you've done enough on action. Where have we got to? We've been looking at this question. What is the mark that distinguishes your actions from things that merely happen to you? What is the mark that distinguishes you throwing yourself down the stairs in order to create a fantastic film piece versus you falling down the stairs? Both are events in your lives, perhaps quite memorable events. Only one is an action. Davidson's view, the standard story, says it is intention. Those events which are appropriately guided by your intentions are actions. Everything else is stuff that merely happens to you. Now, because that's such an influential view, we've tried to examine that view critically by looking at objections to it. And the first objection was what I called Frankfurt's argument from spiders. I think that's the strongest argument in Frankfurt's 1978 paper, and that argument fails because we're not in a position to know that all of the premises are true. You, of course, may take a different view on this. This is purely provisional. But given that that argument appeared to fail, I was motivated to consider another line of objection from Bach, the objection from absent-minded, instinctive and impulsive actions. And here again, my finding is that this objection does not undermine the standard view, does not undermine Davidson's view, because Bach fails to establish, I think, that there are things which are both actions and not guided by intentions. That's the really tricky thing for Bach's objection to be made to work. Now, I'm not saying to you that these objections cannot be made to work. What I'm saying to you for the moment is that we have not yet seen that we have reason to accept the truth of the premises of these objections. The premises are doubtful, and therefore they cannot provide us with good reasons to reject the standard view. Now, that's also not to say that we should accept the standard view. So it's worth thinking, I think, about Frankfurt's alternative. The alternative that he suggests is that action should be thought of as behaviour whose guidance is under the course of an agent. That's the thing when you throw yourself down the stairs. By contrast, when you merely fall down the stairs, the behaviour isn't under the guidance of an agent. Now, Frankfurt, in explaining that view, has some tricky problems to face. So the first problem is to face, well, look, why is this genuinely different from Davidson's view at all? Right? You might think that the role of intention is precisely to fill out the unspecified idea of guidance in Frankfurt. When the intention guides the event, that is you guiding the behaviour, perhaps. Now, Frankfurt clearly doesn't think that. He thinks that his view is a genuine alternative. So the first thing we need here is to see, why does that count as a genuine alternative? We then face two problems. What is guidance? How do we explain that in a way that doesn't reduce it back to Davidson's view? And when is the guidance attributable to the agent? So you remember earlier I offered you the story about the spider. In one case, the spider walks across its own web. Here, the guidance should be attributable to the spider. In the other case, you're mean. You pick up the spider and move it across the web. Now, the spider's behaviour is guided, but that guidance is not attributable to the agent, to the spider. It's your guidance, not the spider's. So we need to answer these two questions in order to develop Frankfurt's view as a viable alternative. Over to you then. Two choices. Should we hold on to the standard view, defend and elaborate it? That's in fact what I'll try to do next if you want to stay around for a little optional extra. Or should we try to pursue a version of Frankfurt's view? Can we make the objections to the standard view work? Or are these objections just doomed to failure because this is the truth